Hello everyone. It seemed I'm keeping getting flashbacks to when I was sitting where you are now. It's kind of weird. Well, this lecture today, this panel today, is called Can Economics Save the World? But I actually just wanted to start off by asking you whether you think economics has absolutely nothing to do with saving the world, has absolutely no impact. Anyone want to raise their hands? I'm going to raise my hand and say I agree with it. Yeah, few of you? Right, well, no response to that one. Well, basically, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you today about is that no, economics really can't save the world. It's not possible to do it through the use of economic thinking, but what it can do is it's a very useful tool to start to try and help us understand what's really going on in the way that people use resources. And to give us some really nice, neat ideas to start thinking about ways in which we can address some of our pressing environmental problems. And the three speakers today, I'm going to be talking about commons research and something that you might be familiar with called the tragedy of the commons. And that will lead into really what Sonia and Richard are going to be talking about, which is climate change, which is the biggest commons of all. So, this is the title of my talk, Managing Commonly Owned Resources for Sustainability. Or the way I like to think about it is how to share natural resources with others without losing them in the process. So, and you can see the picture there is a picture of a fishing boat, and we traditionally think, when we think about commons, people start thinking about this issue when they started studying fisheries. Get to that point later on. Okay, so what is a natural resource commons? This is a quote from one of the academics who's very well known in this area. It's basically a natural or man-made resource from which it's difficult to exclude or limit people from using it, but one person's consumption removes units of that resource available to others. The two key issues that are difficult but not impossible to exclude or make extensive, but if you consume a unit of it, then nobody else is able to consume that resource. So the key question that we have when we're dealing with commons is basically, how do you share the resource? How do you use it? And who gets what and how much? That's a pretty common problem that we have about sharing things, including sharing chocolate amongst researchers. Now, often when we start thinking about this, we might think about cake. About having a cake, it's a valuable resource, people want to consume it, but there's only a limited amount that we have available because everybody wants to consume it. And one of the ways in which people might think about sharing it out is what I call a technical solution, which is basically getting to a situation like that. You get a knife, you work out how much you can distribute it equally, cut it up into equal portions and share it out. And that's a technical solution. But I want to see if I can play a bit of a game with you to see if we can actually get to that outcome in a real world situation. So I might put this down. And I have a valuable resource here in the form of some chocolates. And I wanted to see, to get some people who might be interested in competing for these chocolates. And if they win the competition, they can get to take them home. So, could I have 4 volunteers who might want to compete for chocolates? Oh yeah, you raised your hand, you did, and there was somebody else towards the back. Yeah, was it you? Yep, okay, we're going to see whether we can get to the technical solution or some other solution.
Sure.
Okay. Now, these are the rules. Okay. The aim of the game is for each of you to make decisions that will give you the largest share of this chocolate, and if one of you gets the largest share, you get to take them home. So that's the aim of the game. And the rules are this. You're not allowed to communicate between you. In fact, I'm actually going to blindfold you before we play the game. You have to pretend that you're subsistence fishers that each have access to a lake. And you have to make a decision about how much fish you're going to harvest each year. We're going to have 4 short years of 5 seconds each. And you have a choice of fishing no fish, 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4 fish. Now, if you have 0 fish, your family starves. If you have 1 fish, your family has just enough to eat for the year. If you have more than 1 fish, you get some profit. At the end of the year, end of each round, I look in the bowl, I see how many fish are left, and I double it. And as I said, fish with the largest harvest get to keep the haul at the end of the year. So, what I want you to do is to stand up in line. I'm going to give you each blindfold, put it around your eyes, and when I say go, I want you to raise your hand to the class and indicate whether it's 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4 fish.
Okay. What are you going to take?
Sorry?
So 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4 fish that you want to take?
Yeah, want to take each round, yep. And I'm going to record the results here so we can see how this works over time. So you can see you've got users and rounds, you've got total fish that you harvest, and whatever's total remaining, I double it for the next round and I will tell you. So we're going to start off with 16 fish. Great, okay, so maybe, oh, you can't see now. Okay, that's fine. Right, we're gonna have 4 rounds, each of 5 seconds. So when I say go, you have under 5 seconds to determine how much fish you're gonna harvest in the first round. So, ready, set, go. Yeah, hold them up again so we can record them.
Oh, sort of crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Did I get that right? Yep.
Yeah, oh, okay, I was thinking about that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 6.
Yep.
Okay, so we have 7 left in the pond. So I'm going to add another 7 fish. Okay, right, and next round and go.
Smart.
So we have 9 fish left in this round. So I'm going to add another 9. So 1, 2. Okay, and go. Well, fish stock assessment's always pretty dodgy. So it's adding some uncertainty.
Okay.
She's up to 3.
So we have
8.
10.
Yep. Seven left. Okay, final round. And go.
Just put the head up first.
Okay, we have left 1, 6, 7, 8. So we managed to halve our stock of fish in 4 short years each. Okay. So
It's a tie between 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Okay.
Half each.
Half each? Well, actually, if you want to